So this is the patio.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
All right, it's fairly silent, right? But my question is, did they use some WD-40 on it later? Was it as quiet as now? Back then? Could have been. By the way, she looks very different now than she did in the picture that I saw. So watch how intensely she's observing the woman. Very intensely. I can guarantee you she's not going to lose a lot of time talking about how she hopes Jack and Lily will be found, and she's not going to say too much about worrying about the kids. And don't expect empathy, towards them either. But let's see. It's an 8-minute video.
So it's the more.
So I guess that's her trailer, her RV. She always goes back and forth in terms, with terminology. This is where she lives, I guess.
Morning of May 2nd.
And this would be where Jack and Lily lived. And it looks a little bit better than it did before.
Take me through what happened.
Okay, I was up at 6 o'clock, sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock, I get up, come over here.
I get up, come over here. Present tense.
Fed my chickens.
Past tense. What I'm now expecting from her, based on her previous statements, is a mix of a script as well as real events.
My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48.
Okay.
And asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said, no. I said, I'm staying home. I said, I'm going back to bed. Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know.
I went and laid down. Okay, that's the doggy, actually. You see that? That's the doggy, second in command. It's not good for me, my dog, and then she mentioned grandchildren, Daniel, and last and least, Jack and Lily. But what did they say before it was a small Yorkshire? Where did we get the information that it was a small dog? Well, he is not that big, but looking at him, he looks like he has a strong sound, and he's focused. Look how he looks at the camera. He does not like intruders. And by the way, remember how Logan was lying about how the dog was quiet? Well, she said in the longer interview, he barks at Daniel too, and he knows Daniel. But I will get back to this later, I think. I first want to cover something new that I'm getting to right now.
The dog started barking, and the kids were out in the yard.
And the kids were out in the yard. So first the dog was barking. She mentioned it first. Next thing she knew, the dog was barking.
Now you can see there's 2 swings where the kids play.
Present tense. I believe that's the script. And it's a very general thing. They were not there this morning.
My bedroom is right there. I heard the kid.
So she is feeling the need to let us know why she would be able to hear the kids.
Kids. This is where the kids' swings are. This is where they always played.
I want to know about that morning.
And so that's where
I heard them. And I can.
That's where I heard them.
can hear everything in that trailer.
I can hear everything in a trailer. Okay, she feels a need to persuade that the kids were there that morning.
If two kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie.
She can't get over Lily yelling. The same way Daniel cannot get over Jack's pull-up. Because those are things, those are areas that bothered them so immensely that even though we have two missing children that I believe both of them know exactly what happened to them, maybe Janie less detailed than Daniel, but the negative talk about from either has to be noted. You don't talk negatively about missing children. They're vulnerable, they're missing, they're scared, or they're dead. You don't talk badly about children that are missing or children who are deceased unless you feel the need to blame them for something that had happened to them.
Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence,
That's all I hear. It's a very general terminology, right? That's all she heard from Lily. She was annoyed with that. When present tense, when the kids get out of their fence and come out through here.
and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go. I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard.
The next thing I heard. No, you did. That's not the next thing. You're skipping time here, lady. You're leaving out some serious set of events. When you say, the next thing I know, the next thing you know, she said before. So the next thing she knew, she didn't hear anything. So she skipped purposefully, on purpose, over what happened between supposedly Lily yelling, and she said it in present tense. That's all she hears, her yelling, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie. Right? She's talking generally. Generally, as in, every single day I hear this kind of shit. And so, from this part, she moves over some significant events between when she actually last had heard the kids and when she didn't hear anything. And that could be a period of many, many hours having passed. Next thing I knew, you skip over time willfully because you want to avoid what came between every day hearing Lily yelling, Jackie, 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 come, Jackie, and not hearing anything. Now she says, the next thing I heard
Is I heard Daniel yelling.
There was a lot that happened in between those time frames as well. The next thing I heard, no, you're leaving out significant events. You're not telling us in order what was important for you to mention. The account is a mix of a script as well as memories of something that she had experienced on an everyday basis. And she's trying to portray it as something that would have happened that day hadn't the children gone missing.
He was yelling for Jack and Lily. I didn't get up because
She tells us what she didn't do. So when somebody tells us what they didn't do, it can show us a priority. And the priority being, I want to establish some sort of deniability, an alibi. Don't ask me about anything more. I told you I didn't get up. I told you I wouldn't know this, right? She has a chance to tell us what she knows. She has a chance to give us information because she was there. But rather, she prefers to let us know what we can't ask her anything about.
I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lily to get in the house. So
And she feels a need to explain to us why she wouldn't get up. Again, the next thing you know,
the next thing you know,
why you know? What does she know or what do we know? We don't know anything about this. We are interested in hearing from you what you know. But since you know so much more, you don't want to go into this area. She's being dismissive. She wants to get out of there. She feels like now I can tell them something that gets them off my back. But she has no desire to help solve the case.
I was,
okay, pause.
came out of the trailer after I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him. I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing right here.
Who's that dude? Okay.
With Meadow on her hip. And I come out and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lily are missing." I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I closed the door, got my boots on, came out here, ran up in the woods. Just right up here. The kids have a little fort that they made out of sticks and fir branches. And that's where they go. You can see them and hear them. We went for walks in the woods. I had to practically carry Jack through the woods because there was no way that he was walking through all that tree falls and bushes. I did this whole area. There's an old road up back. When I got up to the top of the hill, I met Daniel. And I said to him, I said, "Did you find them?" He said, "No." He said, "You coming with me?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to search."
I said to him, not I asked him. I said to him, my partner Daniel, it's what, do you hear the kids? Remember, Malaya also going by a script. I said, not I asked him, do you hear the kids? And as we now know, Daniel went against that part of the script because he feels unsupported by Malaya and because he's the one visible who's been deceptive. People people caught his lies. The focus is only on him, but he feels Malaya is also partially, at least, responsible for what happened. And he's telling us again and again what he thinks she's responsible for. Being neglectful. Had she taken care more of the children, this may not have had to happen, in his opinion, from his point of view. When I say had to happen, I am referring to his state of mind and what his statements are telling me. That he felt and still feels to this day that what happened had to happen. So she goes back and forth between present tense and past tense. And I said to Daniel, I believe this is a script right now. They didn't search for the kids. This is a fabrication, which is why she introduces so much present tense in here and includes things that would happen usually, meaning she said, that's all I ever hear. Jackie, come, Jackie, 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 about Lily, because that's fresh on her mind. That morning, that's insignificant to her. she is telling you what she has been planning to say for 2 months. Little by little, the planning, not an active planning necessarily, but thoughts. What am I going to tell them? What am I going to tell them? And she probably said similar things to the police in the very beginning. So she had a 2 months break, right? And one thing also that I noticed about her previous statements, that audio that we had gotten, that she is very talkative. She's very verbose. So some people, when they are absent, they don't want to talk. Yeah, it is the nature of some people to be less talkative than others. And I do believe Malaya, from what we understand, was not a very talkative person. She didn't communicate too much with other people in the area, if at all. But this woman cannot shut up. And she talks to the point where she incriminates herself and lets us know exactly how she felt towards Jack and Lily. She cannot shut up. So I believe for these 2 months, it was absolute. She forced herself to stay away. Forced herself to. Not in her nature. She went against her nature. And there is a reason for that. So the silence is also an area of avoidance. Because we need to explore the reason, the need she felt to stay away. While now, she lets it all hang out. But that's what she was worried about. Once she gets to talk, she will not shut up.
Search this area. Because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think they went into the woods.
You automatically think. Talk about you, woman. I would expect for you to say, she told me, I asked Daniel, and I thought they may have gone into the woods. Not you automatically think. Because now what she's doing is a presentation. She's giving us a presentation, including the audience, meaning she is like a narrator. When something like this takes place, the first thing you want to do, you know what I mean? Stardate 20, she is telling a story right now. That script has been forming. The script is based on what she probably initially told law enforcement, and she is sticking to it. That's your first.
That was my first instinct.
And she has a habit of correcting herself. That's your first? Then she said, it was my first instinct. Because she realizes, she catches herself and wants to make it personal, even though it isn't. And by the way, Julia, you're absolutely correct. When Malaya said, I instinctively, she felt instinctively the need to call 911. I believe that the night before, something had first happened to Jack, and that she may have actually said, I think we should call 911. Or should we call 911? An ambulance or something. And maybe it was that particular woman who said, I don't want police here. And maybe that's when it became too late and something happened which caused Daniel later on to utter the words, Jack was out. I believe that something had happened, but she said instinctively, right? Or she, what was the term she used? I gotta look it up now. From a previous conversation I had. Do I need to look it up, especially directly, instinctively? Ah, Oh, one moment. Let's remind ourselves.
I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them. And I want them home. What happened was we woke up. I heard them playing in the next room beside us. And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet. And we get up, and I tell him, my partner,
Same thing. The next thing we knew. What caused the silence is what they're avoiding.
Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says,
Also, I tell him, do you hear the kids? I said to him, yeah. When you say, I tell him, I said to him, and then a question follows, not likely to have taken place.
no. And we get up instantly. We're looking.
Because they want to get through the script and tell you what they allegedly, what they want you to believe that they said. And so there's a disconnect here. There's a form of distancing. When you are talking about a question, you want us to believe that you asked and said, say, I said, I told, instead. She's distancing herself from the actual action that she didn't take.
Outside, we're looking everywhere, yelling for them, and I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children.
She had the instinct that she needed to call. And I actually believe that's what took place the night before. I believe Jack got seriously hurt and she wanted to call 911. And remember, Daniel saying, she said, should I call police or something like that? He's actually using that against her. And of course, Malaya is not a go-getter who grabs the phone and immediately calls, my son is hurt. Something happened. Maybe he got into rugs. Maybe he got into a stash. Maybe if it's all over the back, who knows? But maybe it's Daniel or this woman, because remember, Malaya was in shock that mom was home. And I don't believe he was referring to her being at home in terms of on the property in her trailer. I believe that mom entered their home because she heard the screaming from Lily. Because I believe when Jack was hurt, she wouldn't stop screaming. And the dog of hers went crazy.
So I went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area, right up to the top of the dirt road, came back down.
I did that. I did the dishes. I completed my task. I'm finished. Can I go now?
Here and came back down the side of the road, came back down here and came back up the same spot. I went back into the house. By the time the cops were here, I don't know exactly what time. I didn't take my phone. The cops were here.
She was hiding. She feels a need to justify going back into the house rather than being out there searching, waiting for police and telling them, listen, please help us. And normally, no, she didn't. She completely avoided police. She didn't want to show them, look, there's a little fort. Sometimes they play here, sometimes they do this and that. Or this was supposedly a few minutes after the kids disappeared. You would not say, okay, I did this, I'm done now. But that's exactly the words that she's using here. I did it. I did all this. Look what I did. And sure enough, she went back into her house. She was finished. No goal of finding the children at all. At that particular point, if what she had said was correct, but we already know she lied, you would not go inside of there. You would yell for the children, not say I did this. You would run into the other side, to the other areas. You would look more on the property. You would look around. You would run to the neighbor's house, even if you say, oh, your neighbor is, he likes to steal and he likes to do this and this, but still, it would be more logical for her to go there and say, did you see my grandchildren? More so than retrieving into the house and saying, I'm done. She did not want to be there when police was there. She didn't want to be asked any questions. Now she has a script down right after 2 months. But then, she wasn't sure what to say about what. And she didn't want to say the wrong thing. And I believe she knew exactly what had happened. And that's why she feels the need to explain to us, oh, I didn't have my phone. I don't know exactly what time it was. It was you were planning to be done with it. And then you didn't want the cops in your own house. Absolutely unimportant what happened to these kids.
There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse, it's over there, was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out.
When? Didn't you say you went into your house? Let's hear this crap again.
So I went up and I did this whole area, whole wooded area, right up to the top of the...
Like he did all the culverts, did all the dirt roads, he did. Yeah, I did the dishes, now I'm done. I'm going to my room and play video games. I'm finished. My job is done. No concern about where the kids went, maybe, because they knew the kids wouldn't be found. I did was necessary, if they even did it, to make it look like they were searching.
To the dirt road, came back down here, and came back down the side of the road, came back down here, and came back at the same spot. I went back into the house, but by the time the cops were here.
I went back into the house by the time the cops were here. You recognize something about this? Not before the cops were here. I need to get back into the house. So by the time the cops were here, I was nowhere to be found.
I don't know exactly what time. I didn't take my phone. The cops were here. There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse, it's over there, was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out.
When? When was that? Because you told us you were in the house by the time the cops were there. And all of a sudden you're skipping time. When was that supposed to be? Did anybody see you crying actually? Or is that eventually you had to go outside and show your face and you sat there pretending to, similar like that to Daniel? Because you didn't cry for Jack and Lily for even 1 second. I believe the tears were real, but the tears were all about not being able to see your grandchildren and the thought of maybe Justin and Daniel having to go away until you're 85 years old to prison. There were certain triggers, and at a couple of times you could hear her voice that she was getting teary and she couldn't control it. And there's a difference between pushing for fake tears and trying to get through an interview while the tears overwhelm you. And she was being overwhelmed. And sure enough, 2 seconds after that, she was talking either about her grandchildren or if anything happened to Justin and Daniel. They wouldn't run into the woods and get lost.
I was crying.
And now she says, on top of it, I was crying, bawling my eyes. She feels a need to portray herself as somebody who has emotions towards these two children, whom I believe she hated, absolutely hated, the same way Kathy Bowersox hated Sebastian. And the language revealed that.
Because I blame myself for not getting up that morning to see the kids. Because if I would have got up, this wouldn't have never happened. Okay? That's why I was crying.
So she feels a need to tell us why she was crying. And that also is a very strong indicator that yes, she had been crying, but about something completely different. And not necessarily that morning, but because of what happened afterwards, the consequences.
We've heard a lot.
And also, why, from what we understand, the kids were outside there all of the time, on their own, without supervision. Why would you have blamed yourself for doing things differently that particular day? Now the patio door.
About the patio door.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily.
Look how all of a sudden she's very eager. Nothing about the two missing children. Nothing about please help us find them. She told us she was supposed to be cried. She supposedly cried. But I don't see any emotions in her. You know, when you feel too much of a need to let us know you had been crying and your voice doesn't change, we know her pattern when she is sad and worried about her grandchildren and about Daniel and Justin. But none of that, none of these types of emotions are now entering her voice at all. Period.
Came out of.
What? One more time.
Sure.
So this is the patio.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
And she's correcting it. Came out of. Because she said, would have come out of. Right? Because she's doubtful in this story. And I can guarantee you, Kayla, Belinda told her what she really thinks. She knows that Daniel is the one to look at. Kayla, when she interviewed Daniel, you see, they have regulated media, so-called regulated. They cannot hold your feet to the fire. Once there's an indictment or once police announces somebody's a suspect, it's going to be a different story. But until then, they have to be really, really neutral. But still, the language of the interviewers reveals what they really, really think. And look at this woman. Compare that to her voice, that facial expression to her voice when she cried about her grandchildren, Daniel and Justin. All she does is stand there, look, do it. And again, you know, maybe it was quiet, doesn't make a difference. Maybe they used some WD-40, who knows? But didn't Daniel also say eventually that he heard the sliding door? So why is this now important? What's important is to figure out what happened to Jack and Lily. She's talking about all of the other things, and she's talking about things that she wanted to speak about for 2 months. And the reason she didn't, that's the reason that we need to look at, that avoidance. She avoided speaking. Why? That's what we need to look at. Because you could have invited them over very early on. She's bringing up old topics. Daniel already said, right? I mean, did I get this wrong? Didn't Daniel already say he heard something about the sliding door? Why is she bringing up something so old? Because she didn't get a chance to say it back then. Why didn't she say it back then? Because she was worried about the questions she would get. She was worried about having to get the script down. Eventually, she got around to it because now she feels a need to protect Daniel and Justin and wants to see her grandchildren. Why can you not see your grandchildren? That's a whole different story that we also need to get to. Here's Jack's dinosaurs. I wonder who put it up there. It must have been there before. Maybe Daniel, who knows? So Jack wouldn't be able to reach that high. Neither would Lily. Or Malaya. Who knows? Well, the bottom line is that we need to look at avoidance and the fact that now she wants to stick it to you about something completely insignificant. So what do you think happened that night? Why did you tell Belinda that you were filling potholes that night and later change your story? And I believe, you know what? Why did she fill potholes at night? Because the ATV was supposed to not have been there for 5 years. So I believe the ATV, Justin's ATV, that tire marks of that ATV was what she wanted to remove, or what she removed. And she was worried that when police comes in the morning and they see somebody raked things or somebody evened things out and cleaned up the driveway and maybe parts of the yard as well where the ATV went through, to have an excuse for that. Why all the gravel there? Oh, because I filled in potholes when it was pitch black dark. No lights whatsoever. Yeah, that's why I believe she did that. Because the ATV wasn't supposed to be there. If it hadn't been there in 5 years, why would it be there and leave marks and possibly even drive all the way towards that door to pick up the children alongside the blanket? Or later he may have gotten that, but that's exactly why I believe she did that. And they never gotten back around to it, right? About tire marks or anything. So now she feels comfortable denying that she had done that.
And so tell us why.
So she's interrupting her because she was gonna probably say a lot more. You see.
Why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube.
Again, talking about social media. Worried about that, what people say. Nothing about Jack and Lily.
On TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open.
Please correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Daniel actually say he heard the sliding door eventually? Didn't he flip-flop on that?
The bedroom is back there. Okay?
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
Okay, so who else stayed there? Only Daniel, Malaya, Jack, Lily, and Meadow? Or was there somebody else? I don't know.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this door.
That morning.
Now she says, would have come out. Not they did come out.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the
You planned on putting a pool up that year for the kids. Now she's trying to make herself look like she cared about them. You said you planned. Did you already, how well did you plan it? Did you take, what actions did you take?
kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground.
So this area may have been where the ATV was going through.
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
And so they would have come out.
I have to say, the older picture of hers with Daniel and Justin, she looked a lot nicer. She looked like a much nicer woman. And she looked almost too nice to talk as nasty as she did in these audio clips. But looking at her there, also her body language, her posture, her stern look on her face, yeah, I can see it. It makes more sense now. And now she agrees with they would, if they did. But they hadn't.
This door.
They would have come out this
that
door.
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right?
That's when I heard them. Not yes, I heard them. That's when I heard them. Like Katie Proudfoot. 6 a.m. That's when Sebastian wasn't in his bed. That wasn't when. You have heard them many, many times. But not that morning. I plan on putting a pool up. Really? When was the plan? When did the plan come, into your mind? That night? When you had to get rid of some tire tracks? All of a sudden, I'm just going to tell them I plan to put a pool up for the kids. I don't know. I look at this whole place and it doesn't look too much like some, she would put that kind of effort in, but, maybe for her grandchildren, it's possible. But let's see.
Here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this
Why is this so important now? That is the question. Why is she feeling a need to tell us this?
year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
When?
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, they all...
Did you do also a lot of work here on Thursday night? Or did you do something to get rid of these tracks, these tire tracks? And use this as a reason why you would have done that? I want to know what it looked like the week before that. That's what I'm interested in.
all the investigators, search and rescue and everything. Right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is
Oh, isn't that interesting, people? That area that I am convinced she worked on that night or the early morning hours to get rid of tracks. Isn't that interesting? And there was only one footprint that she forgot to get rid of. In this particular area is where the footprint was found. Yes, I believe she overlooked one part. There were many footprints, there were tire prints, there was a lot. That's why she feels a need. And there was no need to talk about the poor, not even to get an excuse or an alibi going. Unless somebody would have said, well, it looks like there was some work done here. Well, maybe somebody said it. But this is the reason. She feels a need to explain why something was done there. So you're telling me in this area there was only one single footprint? Nothing else. How did one footprint get on there unless you take the boot and stick it into the ground? A child would be walking, running back and forth. There would be many. But there was only one that she had overlooked. And look at her body language right now. She's staring at her. You believe me, right? This is kind of the look she's giving. Look how tense she is. She's not relaxed at all. She should be relaxed enough to speak about Jack and Lily, our concern. Even though we think they are no longer with us. But what happened to them? That's what's important to us. But this area is very important to her, as was the driveway. And yes, absolutely, I believe there were tracks from the tire and more footprints. Does it make sense to you guys?
This is where I was raking that night.
Yes! That night you were raking. That night. Bam, 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 bam. Thank you. No, I hadn't watched this before. I was waiting for the crescendo from her. And that's exactly what she just gave me. She gave me the exact reason that she felt the need to come up with a story about the pool, to explain to her, why would you rake that night, that area? Was it in the middle of the night when it was pitch black? Why? Because of the tracks. You gotten rid of everything.
That's where the boot print was found, in the mud where I was raking.
Because it was in the mud, you went over it, you didn't detect it. Why were you raking the mud? And why that night? If you're planning to do a pool, why would you in the middle of the night go out there in pitch black dark and start raking? This makes no sense. You see, she said, didn't she take it back that she did the pothole thing? Well, this part, maybe that was overlooked, that she was raking. She said herself raking. I believe she was raking that driveway of all the tracks, but that's not enough. Let's see where in relation to the houses actually is. But this is exactly where I believe something significant happened, where maybe the children were loaded onto the ATV. Possibly the ATV.
I thought there was two boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Okay, so there was only one there. That makes sense, woman. One single boot print. Not two. One single boot print. Nothing else. How did the boot print get there? He didn't walk. He flew up there and descended and only touched down with one boot? Because she was raking. Why were you raking away the boot prints? What else were you raking away? Wow. Wowie, people. She just gave it away.
Well, you sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm...
Okay. Well, I don't know about that yet. I haven't really looked at it much. If it was planned, or I will not get into this right now, people. I'm going to take it one step at a time. But when I'm certain, I'm certain. And then I wait to get to the other parts. And this is something she cannot deny, because this is official. Police found it. They photographed it. This is a part of the evidence folder, and she cannot get around that. The only thing she can try to do now is normalize the unnormal. Oh yeah, I was planning to. She didn't say I started to work on a pool that I was going to. She's explaining what needs to be done to get a pool down there. Okay, what have you been working on before? And why that particular night were you raking? Why would you rake if you're going to build a pool there? Why is it important for you in the middle of the night to go out there and rake? Look at her standing. This is performance. Shitty performance, but still performance. You see, to her, it's a performance. To us, it's a clown show. But to her, this is the role of her life.
I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lily and Jack's.
Was it Lily's or Jack's? The only one they can confirm. So there were other things that they may have seen where they said, no, it looks like it's been raked over. Maybe, we cannot confirm it for sure. It looks like it could be, but... So she's all about evidence. Her mind goes to the area of, okay, that's the only evidence they have. Nothing else. Eat me, there's nothing here. Leave me alone. That's her message right there.
Was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man.
She has to calm herself down because she's in performance mode, but she also knows, I need to mellow this down a little bit. I got to be very careful.
And one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to lie.
Yeah. I'm not here to lie. Oh my God, is she blatant? There are liars and then there are blatant liars. And this woman is a blatant liar. And I'm telling you right now, Logan, her, probably other females in that family, it's the same type of mentality. They are not self-aware at all, but they are used to getting away with some of the stupidest lies. I mean, she shows insecurities for sure, as intently as she's looking at her. Absolutely, 100%. 100% she's feeling it. Because she wouldn't believe this crap if somebody told it. She seems like a very judgmental woman, the way she talks about Jack and Lily. Extremely judgmental, not thinking. They are thinkers and then they are judges. She judged them and dismissed them, and Logan referred to them as animals. That's how they looked at Jack and Lily. Baggage of a woman they don't like, who is Malaya, that they don't respect, that they think is, weak, stupid, whatever, right? Because stupid people, they down on people that they think are less capable for them. They are the first ones. They love to do that, to feel better about themselves. I am not here. You are here to lie. If you are not here to... First of all, nobody would expect you to lie, right? I mean, we go back to this with a clear mind and allow them to talk to us. And we believe every single statement that is new to us. We believe you. The approach of ours is, you're about to tell me the truth. And I let you talk me out of it. But the desire, the need for her to say, I'm not lying. Like when somebody says, honestly. And no, Sunny, I disagree with you completely on that, but I understand why you don't want for us to look at why you may have created that pattern at one point to always say honestly, to feel the need to say that. And no, I don't like to say, hit the like and hit the share or hit the subscription for Jack and Lily, because that would mean I need to like, subscribe. Otherwise, I don't care about these kids. It's emotional blackmailing. So I just want to put this. And no, I'm not being unkind. You said be kind. Well, I'm not being unkind. I keep it real. That's why I'm here. And if I keep it real about one area, I need to keep it real about everything. Everything that's coming my way, period. Then somebody tells you, I'm not here to lie, I'm not going to lie, you better believe she feels a need. And the reason she is there is to lie. I'm here to lie. That is what she is thinking. And that's what she's trying to cover. The reason she is giving this performance is to lie about just about everything that she is saying here. Ooh, how can I move on from something so significant? I'm almost scared what's going to be next, because now she's letting loose. Now her real intentions come out. This is almost too easy, people.
The reason why I wanted you guys to come here,
Because I have to lie to protect Daniel and Justin. And remember, when she talked about Daniel and Justin and her grandkids, there was no stuttering, no I. There is no flow here. Because now she's becoming uncomfortable. Because now she needs time to think. She has to keep it straight. The reason I asked you guys to come here was, to do the interview is to...
and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place.
It took place there. You're right. This is where Jack and Lily met their demise. You just told us. And she says everything took place there. Everything. It wasn't an abduction. Somebody took them somewhere by an unknown. It was not by an unknown. They didn't wander off. Yes, everything. Look at home. Exactly. And it was rearranged a little bit, and now she feels a need to, oh my God.
And to show people that this is what happened.
It didn't happen. What happened was, why do you feel the need to say all that? I thought you already told us what happened. Why do you feel the need to reiterate that this actually happened? Because it didn't happen. What you just told us was a lie. You asked them to come here so you can lie to them. And you hope they will believe you. When you have doubts, they will believe you. And you know that it's not believable, which is why you're in it, why you are adding to it. This is what happened. Because you're telling us a story. And you realize I'm not doing so well at this time, or she's at least doubtful. And that woman, yeah, I'm getting the reporters, they're kind of poker faced, right? They're kind of like, I mean, I had been interviewed before by mainstream media, and they are, one thing I've noticed is that they usually don't really have an emotional connection. Most of them. They're like, okay, I got to get through this. So even when whatever it is that they're being told on an everyday basis, they know they're often being lied to, they know, but they don't care anymore, right? So it doesn't mean that they necessarily give her a doubtful eye, as Kayla did very well with Daniel Martell, without stepping over the lines of what she has to do in regulated media. But she did it in a way that she was still able to represent herself and what she knew from Belinda. And she knew that she was sitting across a potential. Yep. And by the way, why is Daniel so confident? Well, if he allegedly did drugs, then maybe that's his confidence, man. Overconfident, right? Like when somebody's really, really drunk and thinks he's a great driver.
All the stuff that
Yeah, oh God, I'm glad it's only 1.5 minutes, only 2 more minutes. Look at her now, she's grandstanding. That's not what happened. This is what happened. No, this is exactly what didn't happen. All the stuff that people are the rumors and accusations. Now she's downplaying the valid claims as rumors. Being dismissive. Let me see if she says what she says about it.
the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids,
Oh.
burying them on the property. This This place has been searched thoroughly.
Tell me that the rumors and accusations are wrong. You see, this is exactly what I thought. She didn't say it. I should have said it before. That's what to listen for.
All the stuff that people, all the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property, this place has been searched thoroughly.
Tell me it is wrong. Tell me the rumors are false. Don't say this place has been searched. Tell me what happened. Say it's false. I don't know anything. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. Yeah, we know this place has been searched. And by the way, burying them on the property, no, I mean, she's throwing that in there because she wants to add something that's easy to dismiss. Chris Proudfoot does it all the time. He listens to, when he was on these lives, he focuses on a comment left in the live chat, not a claim from the moderator, because it's easy for him to dismiss it. And with that, the attempt is made to dismiss everything else as just one of those rumors. Oh, you see how this guy, you see, oh, we heard that there was, what happened when somebody at 3 a.m., Katie Proudfoot, ran back from the lights outside into the house? Was it you? Well, this is just another rumor, just like somebody claimed that we had a funeral home. By association, they want to dismiss something that can be valid. And they love to focus on that. And this place has been searched. Yeah. They're not on your property. Now she's telling you about what has been searched. We are looking at the tire tracks. For the tire tracks, that's what we want.
The well has been checked, the septic tank, all the barns been searched, my RV.
You see? Get back to the other marks that may have been found where the boot print, the single boot print was found. Isn't that something, people? Wow. I didn't expect that. Blatant woman.
It was searched 3 times.
We don't care about that. 2 missing children. And you're inconvenienced. Does anybody like to have their home searched? Or their phone searched? Where we have a lot of private personal messages, where we may tell a good friend about what we're sad about or what we're concerned with or what maybe our fears are or whom we really dislike or anything. No, absolutely not. There are laws because of that. It's an intrusive feeling to have that done to you. I agree with that. But when 2 children are missing, here, my door is open. And I trust you don't take any valuables. I want, maybe you can say I want 2 or 3 of you at the same time, and I want you, it's on camera, right? Yeah, okay, everything's on camera, so nobody's, I don't want, these are types of thoughts that may run through my mind, that maybe one cup will, I don't know, I'm not, I've seen too much stuff in my life where I'm becoming less and less trusting, let's say it like this. What would my concerns be? Yeah, I would say, if you look through my computer, make sure you don't change the password or get me logged out, and then I have to, I don't know. There would be certain worries that would definitely run through my mind, but they didn't search your electronics anyways. But this is just very general. I want to let you know that I understand every side, right? I understand why people say at times, I don't want my place to be searched. Because they say, first of all, the kids, oh, there's nothing here. I know it's a waste of time. Do you have to do this? No, well, we have to do this because we have to eliminate in order to move forward and focus all of our energies on finding Jack and Lily. Yeah. Okay, here you go. Here you go. And it doesn't matter what the couple, she focuses only on, well, she mentions areas that have been searched where the kids are not. She knows she knows what happened to the children. And just because these areas have been searched doesn't mean you are in the clear, woman.
The trailer was searched. This whole place was searched. If they want to come back and search again, they're more than welcome.
All of a sudden, they're more than welcome. Before, no, my dog has anxiety. Something weird about her and her dogs, man. Something really weird, when you have... But I guess some people, they feel disconnected from other people and they put all of their love and energy into an animal who becomes like a life partner to them, you know what I mean? But all this concern for her damn dog and Jack and Lily,
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've
Yes.
talked about cars driving down the road and
Yes.
slowing down. What's that?
Yes, immediately she's like, that's what they did to me. They inconvenienced me. Now she's having some coffee and sitting down. And I don't expect too much now at the end. But still, I'm always curious, man. Because the best things happen by surprise.
Been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly
Okay.
stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am.
Yeah, you don't want people to see who you really are. How about I am Jack and Lily's step-grandmother. Please help me find them. No. All about her.
That is me myself. It's not because I'm hiding from anybody.
And the reason that some people have animosity towards you is because, and you said it yourself, you told Daniel to keep his trap shut, but he didn't. So, like I said, I gave you my thoughts about one of the reasons that he may have not had his brain clicking properly and gave himself away and felt overconfident to appear in front of all these cameras. She says, I don't like to be on camera. Yeah, we know. We know, woman.
I don't like to be on camera.
Yeah.
I don't like my picture taken. I'm just a quiet person.
That's why I had only one of yours, but now I have a different one. Good. Thank you.
That just wants to be left alone. And I mind my own business.
With my doggy.
I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property. Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe that.
And here's one thing that I expected immediately, where she didn't disappoint. She hardly let her finish the question. And no, the no was already ready, but the no doesn't stand on its own. You see, a reliable denial would be no. No. In this case, a question was already asked. No. Count the words after that. And every word makes it less reliable. Listen to this.
Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie, and my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this.
My heart. And now the real tears come in because she is worried about Justin and Daniel getting it. In my opinion. By the way, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Everything I'm stating is my opinion only, or as I would like to call it, my own thoughts. To do with this. With what?
And I had nothing to do with this.
With what? One more time.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No,
And again, what she said before, because I live on the property. Okay, come on.
Own business.
And if she's a hermit, always there, remember again, Daniel said Malaya was surprised or shocked to see Mom was home. If she's a hermit, that means she's always there. I thought, well, maybe Mom has a boyfriend somewhere and she's hardly ever home. And no, I don't think so. I don't think so. She says, I mind my own business. She's kind of, seems like somebody's kind of done with life, right? I mean, in a way that's sad, maybe. No, not sad. I'm not sad at all for her. But in general, I would be like, But then again, some people, they get to the point where they had a lot of bad experience in life, in relationships, and with friends screwing them over, and so on, right? So I understand now why some people get to the point where they like to. I like my privacy now more than when I was younger. You know what I mean? A lot more, actually. I value it a lot more. But not to the point where I would be a hermit ever. I hope nothing happens to where I will feel ever like that. My own business, okay.
I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the
I'm just a hermit, yeah.
finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
I do.
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property.
Ah, there is more to it, man. You see, she feels a need to explain to us why. Not because of what Daniel has been saying, not because of what I have analyzed, not because of everything that I have been discussing in my last few videos, or now my last many videos, but only because you're on the property. Just like Daniel, only being a suspect because he's a stepfather, right? So they want to dismiss all of the other stuff.
Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe
Didn't let her finish.
Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance.
And she says believe, not no. No, Daniel didn't have anything to do with it. No, she added believe, minimizing it.
Of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie. And
Oh, that's your evidence. Your heart don't lie. And my heart, now she's talking about my heart is telling, and she's calling him my kid. Because suddenly the reason that she feels a need as a mother of Daniel, she doesn't have a life really, so her sons and grandchildren are probably her only life because she hated Jack and Lily. She didn't embrace them. Meadow also, she's into Meadow. And Malaya didn't want her around Meadow too much, if at all, unless she needed to do something else. Yep. Now, listen to her voice. Listen to real emotions kicking in. When she's talking about her heart, she mentions her heart because she loves her son. And she's so worried about him. And even though she's horrible and giving it all away in this particular interview, she is following sort of a maternal instinct with him. Protecting him, but actually making it worse. Not self-aware at all. And she says, a heart don't lie. Not my heart. A heart don't lie. My heart would be more for commitment because your heart loves him, but also knows what he did. Allegedly, possibly, in my opinion.
my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this.
Mm-hmm. She's adding it because she realizes she needs to make it a little bit stronger. And she's trying very hard to convince. Because she realizes that what she has just presented is not enough. She wanted to. It wasn't enough, people. And by the way, later, that's why she feels confident with all of these audios. Because she, I guess, limited capacity, she felt like, well, I guess I told them. And they maybe, but she still felt the need to say more. Because she realized this is not going to be enough. This may be enough to keep her quiet because she has to be. but not going to be to be enough with all of the things that people have learned about you and your son. This is not going to be enough, and she knows it.
And I had nothing to do with this.
Look at her face, man.
You know, if something bad happens, you get like your heart drops. Mine hasn't dropped. Deep down in my heart, I do believe Jack and Lily are alive. It's not
Oh, no, you don't.
because of what people are saying. It's my heart tells me that they are alive.
Yeah, what people are saying. So she wants to contradict people. She wants to tell, let me see her face one more time. This may be the thumbnail I use. This one right here.